Hey, what's up, everybody? Today I want to talk about Boye Mafe, who's having a very nice stretch this season with 4 straight games with a sack coming into week 7. And on top of that, he has a whopping 27% pass rush win rate, which is good for third in the NFL behind only Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett. I'm hoping that the game film from this week's win against Cleveland is going to offer a look into how Mafe was able to join such elite company. Now, in this first play, the Browns are going to run this outside run play, and Boye Mafe is going to be responsible for setting this edge. Now, what I really like about this play is as soon as the ball snaps, Mafe sees it's an outside run, he immediately crosses this tight end's face. This is going to make everyone's job on the play a million times easier. Now he's going to get lateral, he's going to get some depth, force this running back to run back into the backfield to get around him, track him laterally, make a real nice tackle that's going to force a Browns punt. This is a great play from Mafe. This next play is going to be a passing play where I want to go over some of the limitations Boye Mafe has as a pass rusher. The first of which is going to be just how short his arms are. I mean, right here, he loses the battle to his chest just because he essentially gets long-armed by this tackle. And his reaction to this long arm and other reps too, where he tries to swat the arm away, he's not very good at clearing both hands off him. Here he's going to clear just the one hand. Contact is still established on him, so he's already lost the battle to the edge. He has to counter inside, which shows the next limitation, which is he offers nothing as a power rusher. He is a pure speed rusher. He's going to get overpowered, thrown. He loses that rep. Those are just a few of the limitations I see in his pass rushing game. This next play is a play action boot from the Browns, and it's going to start with the line flowing away from the play. Mafe quickly diagnoses and shows great play recognition. Tracks down PJ Walker, shows nice change of direction, great closing speed, registers a pressure that forces an incompletion. That's a hell of a play from Mafe. This next play isn't anything great from Mafe. It really just showcases his struggles again with how he deals with swatting both hands away, doesn't do it, still contact on him, and just his lack of ability to deal with these longer arm tackles. But this is also a well-called blitz where Jordan Brooks comes through absolutely unblocked, absolutely eviscerates PJ Walker, which leads to a fumble that Boye Mafe is able to recover. So, at least he put himself in a nice spot. Turnovers cure everything. Here's a play where I want to talk about Boye Mafe as a pretty positive run defender for Seattle. He's going to have two guys pulling at him, and he does a real nice job squeezing this gap in as tight as he can. Squares up, puts his shoulder right into that puller, fights through him. He's there to make a play. Also, check out this move from Bobby Wagner. Just jukes him out of his shoes. Him and Mafe are there to make a play at the line of scrimmage. That's a great play from Boye Mafe. This is a really great pass rush from Boye Mafe, but it's also a really cool play call from Seattle, who dials this play up like it's a simulated blitz, but really they're only rushing 4. The reason it feels like a blitz is because this down rushing linebacker is actually going to drop into coverage, and Witherspoon is going to rush off this edge. Now, Mafe is going to flash his hands at this tackle, drawing attention to himself while simultaneously attacking the outside half of this guard. He's going to use his crazy speed to blow right past him, free rush to the quarterback essentially. This is going to put a ton of pressure on PJ Walker, who throws a pick directly to Tariq Woolen. That is a hell of a play, and you can't ask for anything more out of your pass rusher. Here we're going to have a Seattle blitz where Boye Mafe is going to be able to extend his sack streak to 5 straight games. He's going to be stunting on this play with Draymond Jones. He's going to be attacking this inside while Draymond Jones is going to be attacking this outside. Now, Mafe is going to threaten the outside edge with a speed rush, which is going to get this tackle to turn his shoulders. With this tackle being unsquared from the line of scrimmage, he's unbalanced inside. Mafe is going to attack this unbalance, swipe his hands away, and this tackle can no longer recover. He's so off balance. That's a free rush to the quarterback and a great play from Mafe, which leads to a sack. Here we're going to get this draw play from the Browns, which means Boye Mafe is going to get a pass read at first from this tackle. He's going to get eyes in the backfield, see the handoff. That's great play recognition from him. Disengages, makes a great tackle. Love to see that. Here the Browns are going to call a power run to the right side, and pre-snap you're going to see this hole. You know that's where you want to aim it, and with the power play, the side's already going to be overloaded. Now, what Mafe does, the ball's snapped, his read man is going to block downwards, which means he's going to have to squeeze this gap and try to close it up altogether. He does a nice job engaging with this guy, getting him stretched out, which means he's able to flash his head inside, force this runner from taking this gap and force him outside. He then uses this to two-gap this man. He flashes his head outside, and he's there to make a play. You simply cannot ask for a better run defending rep than that. Here I'm going to show 2 back-to-back split zone plays that are both being ran at Boye Mafe. He's going to get this down block initially, which means he's going to have to squeeze this gap. I don't think he squeezes this gap tight enough, which means when this pooler gets there, it's going to open the gap a little more. This is going to give Kareem Hunt a wide open gap to run through. Now on this next play, where you have another split zone call, you get this same down block that Boye Mafe is going to read. This time he squeezes hard, he squeezes fast. This gap is closed. Kareem Hunt's going to run right into him, and he just needs to make that tackle. But he was there for the play, and that's what you want to see. Here we have another run play from the Browns where they're going to motion number 11 over here, which means Mafe has to maintain gap integrity between number 66 and number 11. He's going to be reading this tackle, sees him down block, uses his athleticism across number 11's face in order to squeeze this gap, completely close it. That's a real nice job from Mafe. Now Brooks should be scraping off number 11's ass to meet Kareem Hunt when he has to bounce outside. Instead, he's frozen in place. Kareem Hunt's able to gain a few yards off of that. I believe that falls solely on Brooks. That's a great rep from Boye Mafe, however. This is going to be the very next play for the Browns, and it's a pass rushing rep against a new tackle. He doesn't have to worry about Broderick Jones' long arms. So what he does here, he does a nice job initially swatting this arm away, but right after he swats this arm, you want to see him bend around the edge to get the sack. Instead, he stands too tall, allows this hand to be replaced, and he has lost this rep. And adding that bend into his pass rushing bag is something you'd really like to see if he's looking to take the next level as a pass rusher. Here the Browns are going to call another split zone. This time, though, Boye Mafe is going to get blocked at. He does a nice job getting extension on this tackle, getting eyes in the backfield, finding the ball. He's going to cross the line of scrimmage and get a real nice cleanup tackle. That is a fine run defending rep from Boye Mafe. This is going to be the last play I want to show you, and it's an outside run from the Browns where I believe Boye Mafe was initially in a pass coverage assignment. Because as soon as this ball snapped, he snaps his head to this tight end like he's waiting for a route from him. Instead, this turns into a run, and Boye Mafe is now trying to get outside of this tight end to establish an edge. And Adams is going to come off this edge, and he should have kind of erased this play, but he pushed himself out of it. Now Mafe is the last line of defense on this edge. He loses outside contain. Witherspoon, who's coming from the secondary, also loses the outside, comes around the edge, gets a few yards. I don't believe that play falls solely on Mafe. I think the defense kind of failed on that play as a whole. Now for my final thoughts on Mafe, I believe he's a great athlete with nice speed and agility and the ability to change directions quite well, which seems to be a pattern for a lot of the players on Seattle's defense. His athleticism allows him to be a very big threat on stunts that Seattle likes to call. I don't think he has a very deep pass rushing bag, but the speed rush moves that he does use are very effective. He shows nice enough bend to win around the edge, but not a lead enough bend to where it's completely unblockable. He does, however, show great play strength as a run defender. I would describe him as just straight up disruptive when trying to run against him. He shows good hand movement and good hand placement, but he does tend to leave his chest exposed, which leads to a lot of pass rush losses, especially against longer arm tackles. But Seattle is also able to scheme him away from a lot of double teams, as seen by his 11% double team rate. This puts him in very successful situations where he's able to win with his speed. Overall, I think he's a nice pass rusher who does specific things very well and is schemed into a lot of his pass rush production and into situations where he can best succeed, while also being a total positive as a run defender. As far as second round pass rushers go, Seattle couldn't have picked a better guy, and Boye Mafe is already paying off quite nicely for Seattle as a team.